Welcome back to Look at TV, the ultimate fish keeping show. In this week's episode, we've been invited by Mr. Cirignaco along to the Bothwell Bridge Hotel here in Bothwell, just outside Glasgow in Scotland. In this week's episode, we're going to be discussing the general aquascaping of this amazing aquarium. We're going to be covering rocks and plant selection. So, let me not hold you back any longer. Let me introduce you to Mr. Cirignaco, the creator of this aquarium. Hi, Mr. Cirignaco.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mills.
Thank you very much for inviting us along to the Bothwell Bridge Hotel. I've been telling our viewers today that we'll be
Hello, everybody.
talking about the aquascaping behind us and how you've gone about achieving this amazing aquarium. So, without no further ado, let's go through how you've created this. So I don't know if you want to talk about the plants or the rocks first, but if you could just explain how you've created this tank.
Well, Mr. Mills, first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming today, and thank you to the viewers watching. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, plants. I have decided to select cryptocardium plants. Now, having an African cichlid aquarium, African cichlids, they do eat most plants. Of course, all fish tend to pick at plants.
Yeah, of course.
African cichlids will just leave your tank, your aquarium, without any vegetation. So, I could not have I did not want to put any carpet plants.
Right.
I just thought there would be too much picking away and make a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Too much maintenance. Then every day I'll be trying to clean.
Okay.
And
So how did you start off with the rockscaping first, or did you start with the plants? How did you go about it? What was the...
Well, first I started placing the rocks in.
Okay.
I placed the masterpiece, which is this one in the center.
Let me just bring this camera in a wee bit closer to let you see what we're talking about here. So you've got this masterpiece rock in the center. Yep.
Yes, and then another piece in the right corner.
Okay.
Another piece to my left corner.
Right. Beautiful. And that rock type, what is that, a specific type of rock?
This is a ocean rock.
Ocean rock.
Yes.
Right.
Then once I had those in place, and I took a step back and I looked at the aquarium, I was quite pleased that it was in place to what I was looking for. So then I started putting in the rest of the rocks. Then I moved on to the plants. I started planting the cryptocardiums, and at the front I have them as my front drop. They grow up to 15 centimeters tall. Not very big, just ideal for the front drop. You can have them in different types of aquascape layouts. You can have them as a mid-ground plant. However, as you can see, I have them mainly as a foreground plant. Then the Anubias barteri var nana, that again, it will grow up to 15 centimeters tall. It was a slightly smaller when I first got it, and that's it at its maximum size.
And the plant choice at the back and the backdrop?
Well, I've got some mixed plants with some bigger Anubias. The Anubias there, that one will grow up to about 25 centimeters. The one with the big leaves. And this is one of the Echinodaurus. I'm not going to discuss that in this episode, as I only put it in just to try and see what I felt of it. But I will be taking that out, as it's not something that personally I prefer the Anubias.
Well, that's excellent, Mr. Cichlids. It's interesting to see your process, in terms of the rocks, your rock choice, this ocean rock, how you've gone about creating this particular aquascape central pieces supported by these two secondary sites left and right of the tank, and also obviously going through the plantation with a foreground, mid and then background plants, all of which stage the tank beautifully. So really we would like to thank you for inviting again to the Bothwell Bridge Hotel to go through this, and we look forward, we understand that you'll be inviting us back, and in that episode you'll be discussing fish selection and the different varieties of cichlids that you've chosen to work within this community tank. So on that basis we'd like to thank you very much, and very much look forward to coming back here to talk about your fish choice.
Mr. Mills, again, thank you very much for coming today. I really appreciate this. And to all the viewers that viewed today, thank you all for your kind patience in watching. I hope that you will enjoy the next video of of what we'll be discussing next week on which fish I have chosen. So once again, thank you all, and stay tuned for next week.